What's up, Graham? It's Guys here. Wait, wrong channel. My bad. Hold on. Hi, my name is Andre Chick. Come for the magic, stay for the Benjamins. No, this is not turned into a finance channel, okay? I am still here teaching freelance copywriters how to get clients. Don't worry, but I just turned 24 a couple weeks ago and I thought I'd do something a little bit different to celebrate. I've been making free YouTube videos for a good 6 months every week now. You should have been able to sign at least 1 or 2 high-paying clients just from the free information in these videos alone. Because I know when I first started making decent money as a freelancer, my first question was like, the hell do I do with all of this? I knew nothing about investing. All I knew was that by storing my money in a bank account, I'm literally just losing money every single year to inflation. And I know that rich people invest in stuff. Okay, I know they have shares and real estate and houses and crypto and this and that. And I was like, hey, I need to figure this whole investing thing out if I really want to become actually wealthy one day. So I'm going to tell you what I've learned in my journey going from zero to a $350,000 portfolio in about 18 months. Not a ton of money, but you know, pretty decent for a 24-year-old, I think. So I'm gonna share with you what I've learned in my journey and exactly dollar for dollar every single thing that I'm invested in towards the end of the video. So if you appreciate the transparency and the time it took me to put this shit together, you know where the like and subscribe buttons are. Also, this is not investing advice, okay? I'm just a guy on YouTube, okay? I'm not an accountant. Speak to your accountant, speak to your financial advisor. If you watch this and go broke, it ain't my fault, all right? But if you watch this and get rich, then the least you can do is like hit the like button, right? So also I'm going to use the terms investment portfolio and net worth interchangeably in this video, just because I thought revealing my net worth sounded like kind of a douchey title. So rewind to 2018, I started making pretty good money as a freelance copywriter, eventually transitioned into coaching, pulling in a good 15 to 20K a month between the two of them, which wasn't a ton of money, okay? And I understand that's relative, it might be a ton of money to you, but just in comparison to where I'm at now. I was stockpiling cash, okay, and I just had no idea what to do with it, frankly. So I started reading investment books like The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape. If you're in Australia, it's a great book, highly recommend it. Solid information in there. There's just one small problem, and that's called, these books all teach you how to be rich by the time you're 65, which is awesome, but ain't nobody got time for that, okay? That's fucking 40 years away. I want to be rich now.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And I'm busy, okay? I run a 7-figure business. I'm working with 450 clients, and I'm also supposed to be having a full-time music career. I'm a DJ, okay? Spend a lot of time at the gym, taking care of my health, all that good stuff, and attempting to have some form of a social/dating life. The point is, I don't have all day to be spending reading the news, okay, watching charts on a screen. Essentially, I want to make a lot of money by doing nothing. Is that too much to ask? So I started investing for the first time ever in the start of March 2020, right after the pandemic struck, okay? The whole stock market plummeted, and it was basically like the whole stock market was like 30% off. It was like a giant sale. I was like, this is great, perfect time to jump in. Now, I didn't buy any individual stocks, okay? I only invested into index funds or EFTs, okay? If you don't know what they are, if you're new to this, basically all it is, it's kind of a basket, a huge collection of the world's biggest companies. Buying an index fund, you're essentially buying a tiny slice of like 100, 200, or 500 of the world's biggest companies. It's a pretty safe bet because it's pretty fucking unlikely that Google, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, Walmart, BP, right? All these massive companies are going to go bankrupt at the same time. And typically over the last 30 years, index funds have grown by about 8% a year, 8.3% to be exact, adjusted for inflation. And the interesting thing is they have proven time and time again to beat 90% of professional investors. That literally means you could fly to the Cayman Islands and do nothing except smoke weed and listen to Bob Marley for the next 50 years, come back, and you would statistically have more money than people who have spent the last 50 years staring at a screen and trading. Pretty fucking crazy. And of course, it's the 21st century, so I was investing into Bitcoin and Ethereum, other cryptos on the side as well. Then one day I came across this book. It's called Triangle Investing by these two dudes who call themselves the Wall Street Playboys. Now, in hindsight, this is pretty fucking stupid of me to basically take investing advice from people who I had no idea who the hell they were. I couldn't find them online. I found this book in like my books app one day. I had no idea how I even got it. And I was like, fuck it, let's just learn some stuff about investing. Well, I figured out pretty quickly that these two dudes seemed pretty switched on though. They seemed pretty smart. The book was written in 2017 and they were talking about crypto, and it's pretty interesting because I'm reading this 4 years later. Most of the predictions that they've made have come true. So I was like, yeah, these dudes seem pretty switched on. and they're on the same page as me because they're young and hungry and they want to be rich now and not later. They're not in it to have a nice nest egg of $1 million or $2 million by the time you're 65. You know, their book's really about like how to have a net worth of at least $10 million by the time you're 40. And I was like, haha, you're speaking my language. So they have this concept that they call triangle investing, which is essentially real estate, shares, and crypto as well. And I was like, cool, sounds awesome to me, sounds right up my alley, pretty much exactly what I'm doing anyway. So my plan was to essentially keep investing into index funds and crypto, and then eventually, when I have enough for a deposit, down payment, buy a house, and then get into the real estate game. But, big but, one juicy, fateful summer's day, my good friend, millionaire friend, Mr. Wade Fox, introduced me to this Forex trading AI robot app auto trader thing, which I've talked about in previous videos. I'm not gonna spend a ton of time talking about it again. But Wade was basically one of those dudes who's super smart, super savvy with money. You know, he's wealthy, he's a multi-millionaire, businessman, entrepreneur. So when he gives me advice about money, I just listen to him. Quick rant, honestly, I think the reason a lot of people suck with money is because they keep taking investing advice from people who are fucking clueless and have a pretty average track record. Like, if you want business advice, don't take advice from your parents if they've never started a business. Don't take advice from your crazy uncle who started and failed at 7 businesses and never had an actual success. You wouldn't take weight loss advice from someone who's fucking obese. Why are you taking financial advice from people who are fucking broke? Honestly, before you take any piece of advice from anyone on anything, ask yourself one simple question. Do they have the results and, to a larger extent, the life that I want? Mind-blowing how many people don't even stop to consider this. I get that your friends and your family have your best intentions at heart. Okay, they love you, they want what's best for you, but it doesn't mean you should listen to all of their advice all the time. If you want to get jacked, get your lifting advice from a dude who's jacked. If you want to get rich, take your investing advice from the self-made millionaire, not from the trust fund kid. And if you want a long-lasting, happy, healthy relationship, then yeah, sure, go and take relationship advice from your grandparents if they've been happily married for 50 years. Keyword there is happy. Rant over. So I basically took 50K out of my shares and put it straight into this AI Forex trader robot thing, and has since made me $36,000 in the last 6 months from a total of $78,000 invested. Okay, so that's pretty much, you do the maths, that's pretty much on pace to double within a year, which is like insane when you compare that to the 8% that I was getting before from my index funds. But of course, I don't want to put all of my eggs into one basket, okay, just in case fucking Elon Musk tweets about the US dollar and then it drops to zero. At the end of the day, it's all about risk versus reward, so I like to evenly distribute my money between all of those 4 investment classes just to be safe. So if one of them goes to zero, I'm not financially fucked. I don't have all my eggs in one basket. You know, I can still sleep at night and I can still wake up and I'm okay. So I've since taken this investing triangle from the Wall Street Playboys and I've modified it a little bit to be my own patent pending investing model that I like to call rocket investing, because we are going to one place only, and that's the moon.
Returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Smash the like button. I also chose a rocket, or shuttle if you want to get fucking technical, because I used to study aerospace engineering at the University of Queensland, which is literally rocket science, and it allows me to geek out and talk about rockets. I dropped engineering to make music though, so don't take any kind of actual rocket building advice from me though. Allow me to explain. So the giant red payload looking thing you see up here, this is going to be essentially the bedrock of the entire operation, and that is going to be shares / index funds. Okay, reason being is it's a very safe bet. It's a very strong foundation. You can pretty much guarantee that over a 30-year time period, there is almost no chance that you're going to lose money. Okay, unless we have the Great Recession 2.0, which I don't see happening unless coriander becomes the fucking world reserve currency, in which case I'll just kill myself anyway, so it won't matter. You can expect a steady 7 to 10% growth adjusted for inflation, which after 40 to 50 years can really add up to quite a lot of money. If you invest $2,000 into the stock market at the age of 20, and then you continue investing $2,000 a month every single month for the next 50 years, you will retire at the age of 70 with 15 mil in the bank. Not a bad chunk of change to spend in retirement. Now, the 2 tanks you see here on the side of the rocket, we call these the solid rocket boosters. Now, these are the fun part, okay? Because just like an actual rocket, these are what's going to provide most of the initial thrust, which can get you off the ground really quickly so you have money to invest in the 4th asset class that I'm going to talk about in a second, or they could spiral off to Pluto and fucking explode and kill you. Alright, this is the Wild West out here, no one really knows. What I'm talking about here is high risk, high reward investments that are capable of returning up to 100% a year and above but with the risk of losing nearly everything. I am, of course, talking about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, other speculative investments, and I'll even throw my AI Forex trader robot thing in there as well, even though it's been really consistent. Crypto is still the fucking Wild West. Okay, no one really knows what the hell's gonna happen with it. We've seen fluctuations of plus or minus, 90%. I'm still bullish on it though, because I really strongly believe in the underlying blockchain technology. And of course, we're starting to see a ton of massive corporations and billionaires catch on and start investing and seeing the brilliance in it as well. People like Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy, Square, Tesla, and of course, the Doge father himself, Captain Musk. Bitcoin's had some years with as high as 1300% returns and other years where it's gone minus 70%, right? But on average, it's returned something crazy like 300-400% a year. And there is no doubt that it has been the single best performing asset class of the last decade. So I'm mainly invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum, but a few smaller other ones as well, as I'll show you in a sec. As far as the AI auto trader goes, as I've said, it typically returns about 5-6% a month or a bit under 100% a year. But there is of course a chance that shit could completely hit the fan, okay? The US could, I don't know, withdraw their troops from Afghanistan, the Taliban take over the city, and the US dollar magically fucking strengthens in every single global crisis, despite the US actually being the reason behind this one. There have been a couple times where there's been a pretty significant drawdown, but no losses are actually realized on paper. And the dudes who actually run the company have actually stepped in and put up to $25,000 of their own money into my account just to give it a bit more breathing room, which really gives me a ton of confidence in them, their system, their company. And the software has never had a single losing month in 3 years, which is pretty freaking insane. Both of those things give me a lot of confidence, which is why I'm going to continue to invest in it. And it's going to be a big money maker for me over the long term should it continue performing at its current pace. Fingers crossed. And finally, we have the shuttle at the top, the orbiter. This is going to be real estate. Okay, now I've chosen real estate very specifically to be represented by the shuttle because it is the only one really out of these 4 asset classes that you have direct control over. The rest are pretty much set and forget in my model, but this one, real estate, is obviously going to take some work. First of all, you need money to get started, okay, for the down payment. Then you need to spend some time shopping around, going to inspections, finding a good deal, okay? Then you put in an offer, you get it accepted, you buy the house. Then you either got to try and renovate it and try and flip it, or you get tenants in to cover the mortgage for you. But then you might have to deal with some shit tenants, not like myself. Kidding, we don't throw that many parties. But when we do, oh yeah. But yeah, so that's why I don't own any real estate yet. Okay, I was meaning to get into the game this year, but then someone ate a bat and all of a sudden we're paying $500,000 for a cardboard box. So when that calms down and there aren't 100 people at every single inspection, then I will take some money out of my cash, my shares, wherever else makes sense, and I'll jump in and get into the real estate game. I don't want to sell my crypto though, because firstly, I am an ape. Secondly, because I really do feel like it is close to another big breakthrough and moving towards mass adoption. It really is only going to take a couple more dominoes to fall, a couple more big corporations to take it up. Bitcoin price could smash well above 100K. Ethereum, who the hell knows, maybe 10K, maybe beyond, especially with the invention of the whole NFT market. And I really just don't want my money tied up in real estate when that opportunity presents itself. So anyway, that is my patent pending rocket investing model. All right, this is once again not investing advice. I'm just simply sharing where I'm allocating my funds, how I'm investing my money, not telling you what to do. I am just sharing what I myself do. Once again, I'm just a dude on YouTube who's made a bit of money. Okay, don't listen to anything that I say. Now, as promised, here is my exact dollar for dollar portfolio of every single thing that I own, every single thing that I'm invested in. Here we go. So first up, we have cash. I don't like to keep that much cash, as you can see. Well, of course it's relative, but yeah, only about 1/10 of my entire portfolio is actually in cash. Okay, about 5K in my personal account, 25K in the business account, and 6 or 7K in a different account, which is for rent and just a little bit of savings as well. All in all, 36.7K in cash. Secondly, we have shares, my index funds. I pretty much started again investing in index funds in March this year after I moved most of my money to the AI trader. But it's grown insane, like 10% in the last 6 months. It's been really, really strong. We're in a definite bull market at the moment, as we have been for the last like 18 months. So $69.7 thousand in index funds spread across the 7 different ETFs that you can see up here on screen. These are the 7 that ComSec Pocket, which is the app that I use. I love it. It's super simple. Offers, which I think are quite well diversified. Everything from sustainability, tech, emerging markets, global top 100, the Australian top 100, Australian dividends, and health as well. Which ironically, the health one didn't actually move a single inch for a year, and then now in the last 6 months, it's like fucking exploded. It's like plus 15%, it's crazy. And then the only actual single individual stock that I've ever bought is AMC. And that's for the meme, and because I'm an ape. Like for Ape Squad. Next up, we have my superannuation, about $39,000 in there. This is my retirement fund. I like to put in $2,000 a month into there because in Australia, you can put up to $25,000 a year. They've actually just recently moved this up to $27,500 a year, completely tax-free, which is only taxed at 15% as opposed to your usual whatever it would be in your tax bracket, which is going to be way more than 15%. So definitely worth it to max out your contributions because you basically save yourself a bunch of tax money and you're just giving money to your future self. I chose the Host Plus Ultra Low Cost Balance Index Fund, try saying that 3 times fast, as a recommendation from Mr. Scott Pape, the Barefoot Investor, because they have typically returned something crazy like 12% a year, and they literally just invest in index funds, so that's pretty cool. And in the blue corner, we have the AI Trader Autobot, currently sitting about 139K in there at the moment. But 25K of that is not mine. Okay, they put that money into my account to cover a little bit of drawdown that we had a few weeks ago. So they'll be taking that back out soon, which leaves about 114K in the account for me. Now, into the juicy stuff. Crypto, we have about $56.7 thousand in Bitcoin, okay, Australian dollars, everything I'm talking here is Australian dollars, 27.3K in Ethereum. I used to invest like 50-50 between Bitcoin and Ethereum, but at some point I just decided that my life goal was apparently to own one whole Bitcoin, and so I just started going heavy on the Bitcoin so I can just try and get to the holy one Bitcoin mark. But with how well Ethereum's doing at the moment, I kind of wish I put more into Ethereum. We also have about $1,500 worth of Ripple, about $2,000 worth of Cardano, which a lot of people say could be like Ethereum 2.0, the next best thing. So just thought I'd chuck some money in there. Got about 500 Cardanos. And then of course, what would a crypto portfolio be without the almighty cryptocurrency, Doge? About $1,200 in Doge. I think I own about 1,000 of them, which brings us to about $88,700 in crypto, which actually I had no idea that I had that much crypto until I added it up the other day. I don't think I had nearly that much, but the last month has been really, really strong for crypto, so it's appreciated quite a bit, especially considering that I bought my first bit of Bitcoin and Ethereum back in like 2017 when it was worth like $7,000. Everyone was laughing at me for spending $7,000 on Bitcoin when, yeah, look at the price today, so. So that brings my total investments to about $379,700, just a bit under 350K. Now, getting into assets and liabilities. I drive and own my favorite car, a Ford Mustang GT. If I was to sell that right now at the moment, market price is about $50,000, but I still owe about 13 grand on the car in repayments. So that brings that down to about 37K. Also, if we add up all the rest of my belongings, like CDJs that you can see there worth about 10 grand, my other speakers and audio gear, headphones, laptop, computer, monitor screen, tech, my drone, all my fucking clothes and furniture and like literally everything else. I'm being conservative and saying it's probably going to be an extra 30K. It's probably more, but you know, let's call it about 30 grand in what I call other shit. So that brings us up to about $416,000. But of course we can't count net worth without counting what I owe and my liabilities. So my only liability really that I have is my student loan of $59,000 down from $70,000 for 2 degrees, which I started and never finished. So that was money well spent. So that brings us down to $357,700. There you go. There you have it. That's my entire net worth. If you want to sue me, now you know exactly how much that you can get out of me. Like I said, it's not a ton, but I don't think it's too bad for a 24-year-old either. So there you have it. That is everything I'm invested in, everything I own, and my current investing strategy at the moment, which is where I'm putting my money. Once again, not investing advice, but just remember, if you are older, right, and maybe closer to retirement, maybe you have a family to feed and look after, you're probably not going to be as risky as what I've got here, okay? You're probably going to play it safer and invest in probably only just like stocks, bonds, and maybe real estate as well. Unless you're a crazy risky ass motherfucker like Richard Branson, in which case just go for gold. If you are younger though, like in your 20s, you can afford to be a lot more aggressive in your investing strategy and invest in more high risk, high reward asset classes like crypto, NFTs, all that good stuff. Things that have a chance of really exploding or going bust. Because if they explode in 10x, 100x, or even 1000x, awesome. You're rich. But if they go to zero, then So what? You don't have a family to feed, okay? You're not close to retirement. You still have your job or your freelancing gigs that you're working on the side. You'll be okay. You're not retiring anytime soon, so it's not gonna ruin you. Now, don't take this as, oh, Sean told me to go spend all my money on a pet NFT rock. I'm gonna go do that. And a year later, it goes to 50 cents. And you come back to this video and you're like,
Dislike, unsub, Sean. You ruined my life.
do your own research, okay? And of course, only invest in things that you understand, that you believe in, and don't invest any money that you can't afford to lose, particularly when it comes to these really speculative asset classes. Speaking of speculative asset classes, the next thing I actually want to invest in is actually NFTs, okay? I used to think it was a really stupid thing. I never understood the hype behind how some of these things are selling for millions of dollars. I still don't really get it, why people are paying so much for it. But I had a call the other day with my ex-media buyer, Logan, and he told me that he literally bought an NFT for 300 bucks. Okay, it was one of the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, if you know, you know. And fast forward 4 months, it is now worth over 300,000 US dollars. That is a 1,000x return in 4 months. And I was like, holy shit. That's pretty crazy. So I'm definitely going to do some more research in the space, take a look, and maybe grab a few when they go to mint. Okay, I'm certainly not going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars on these things, but if I can snag a few at maybe a few $100 each, then, you know, there's a small chance one of them might just fucking explode, and it's money I can afford to lose anyway, but, you know, I can't resist a good 1,000x return. And then after that, as I said, real estate, once I have a bit more money and time to play with. So I would expect this 350K to grow to about $500,000 by the time I'm 25. But honestly, with some of the stuff I'm invested in, it's really super hard to sell. Like with the crypto, I could be worth less than 350K a year from now, or it might explode and I could be an official millionaire by the time I'm 25. Who the hell knows? All I know is that I am buying in consistently, I'm buying the dip, I'm hodling like the ape that I am, and I'm smashing out more YouTube videos for you every single week. And all this free info that I spent over an hour crunching numbers on my calculator, working out dollar for dollar what I actually have, then you know where to find those like and subscribe buttons. My name is Sean Ferres. I am still the client acquisition coach for copywriters. Don't worry, I haven't gone anywhere. You are a sexy millionaire to be, and I will see your handsome self in the next video. About to go eat my first meal in 3 days, and I'm very fucking excited. So I'm gonna go do that. You have a wonderful, amazing, fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Done.